What if you could stand in the middle of a hailstorm of insults and feel nothing but a gentle rain? To be impossible to offend is not to be numb. It is to be so profoundly grounded in your own worth that the words of others are merely weather. Stay impossible to offend under pressure. Stoicism, compiled and published by Stoic Dominion. Lesson 1. Rooted in Stoic principles. Imagine a magnificent ancient oak tree standing alone on a high hill. For centuries, it has endured the fury of 1,000 storms. The winds howl, the rains lash, and the lightning cracks, yet the tree remains. Its smaller branches may sway and its leaves may be torn away, but its great, solid trunk does not move. Its strength comes not from its branches, but from its deep, unseen root system, anchored powerfully into the bedrock of the earth. This is the inner conflict we face when confronted with the storms of criticism and disrespect. We are the tree, but we have grown shallow roots. We have anchored our sense of self in the soft, surface-level soil of other people's opinions, our reputation, and our social standing. The problem is that when the inevitable storms of life hit, when we are insulted, judged, or criticized, our shallow roots are easily torn from the ground. We feel our very sense of self begin to topple. We become emotionally reactive, defensive, and deeply wounded because the storm is not just battering our branches, it is threatening our very foundation. A life rooted in the opinions of others is a life of constant, terrifying instability. The transformative solution, the first and most foundational law of becoming unoffendable, is to become the ancient oak. You must stop trying to grow in the shallow soil of public opinion and instead drive your roots deep into the unshakable bedrock of Stoic principles. The core idea here is the most liberating truth of Stoicism. Your worth is not external, it is internal. The only true good the Stoics taught is virtue, a character of integrity, courage, wisdom, and justice. The only true bad is the opposite. Everything else, what people say about you, whether they praise or insult you, your reputation, is an indifferent. It is like the weather to the oak tree. It may be unpleasant, but it has absolutely no power to change the fundamental nature of the tree. When you anchor your identity, your sense of you, in your own commitment to your character, you become internally weatherproof. An insult can no longer topple you because it is merely a gust of wind, and you are no longer a shallow sapling. You are rooted in the bedrock of your own virtue. To begin this deep-rooting process, you must become the deliberate cultivator of your own soul. The first actionable step is to define your bedrock. In a journal, you must clearly articulate your non-negotiable principles. What are the 3 to 5 virtues that you will use as the anchor points for your entire life? Is it honesty, resilience, kindness, discipline? This is not a casual exercise. This is the most important architectural work you will ever do. The second step is to water these roots daily. Spend a few minutes each morning reading a passage from a Stoic text, like Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. This act of daily reflection is like watering your roots, constantly reminding you of what is truly important and strengthening your connection to your principles. The third step is to look for the evidence. At the end of each day, identify one small action you took that was in alignment with your chosen principles. This practice of self-validation builds your worth from the inside out, making you less dependent on the rain of external praise. The benefits of being deeply rooted in your principles are a profound and unshakable sense of self. The desperate, anxious need for the world to approve of you begins to wither and die. You will find that you can listen to criticism without feeling attacked and receive praise without becoming arrogant. You are no longer a fragile sapling, but the ancient oak, whose calm and enduring presence is a testament to its deep, unseen strength. You will possess a quiet confidence that is not dependent on a sunny day. Your practice for this week is to choose your single most important principle. For the next 7 days, your first thought in the morning and your last thought at night will be a quiet reflection on that single word. Begin to drive your first root deep. Once you are rooted in your principles, you can begin to change your perception of the insults themselves. You can learn to see them not as attacks, but as the empty noise they truly are. Next, we will learn how to see insults as empty. To continue this journey, Please like this video and subscribe to Stoic Dominion. Lesson 2. Seeing insults as empty. Imagine you're walking through a field, and in the distance you hear a dog barking. You notice the sound, you might even identify its direction, but then you continue on your way. You do not feel the need to get angry at the dog, to shout back at it, or to go over and debate with it. Why? Because you understand that the dog's barking is not about you. It is simply a dog doing what dogs do. The sound is an empty event in your environment, and you do not grant it the power to disturb your inner peace. This is the inner conflict we face when we are insulted. We hear the barking of another person, their critical comment, their sarcastic remark, their angry words, and we make a critical error. We believe the barking is about us. We believe it contains a profound and accurate truth about our character. The problem is that by accepting the insult as a meaningful verdict on our worth, we give it immense power. We are the traveler who, instead of walking on, gets down on all fours and starts barking back at the dog. We enter into a foolish, demeaning, and utterly pointless battle, sacrificing our peace and our dignity because we have failed to see the insult for what it truly is: empty noise. The second iron rule is to become the wise traveler and to learn the art of seeing insults as empty. This is the practice of stripping away the emotional meaning you have projected onto another person's words and seeing them as nothing more than vibrations in the air or pixels on a screen. The core Stoic principle here is the discipline of assent. As Epictetus taught, it is not things that disturb us, but our judgments, dogmata about things. The insult itself has no power. The words "you are a fool" are just sounds. They only become painful when we assent to the judgment. What that person said is true, and this is a terrible thing that diminishes my worth. A Stoic warrior trains himself to withhold this assent. He hears the bark, he sees the impression, but he refuses to sign the document that says, "This is true and this is about me." By refusing to validate the insult with his own belief, he renders it completely powerless. It remains an empty sound, a dog barking in a distant field, unable to touch him. To master this art of non-validation, you must practice a form of perceptual alchemy. The first actionable step is to mentally relabel the insult. When you hear a critical comment, your first drilled thought should be, "That is just noise," or "That is just their opinion." This simple act of relabeling reframes the event from an attack into a neutral, external phenomenon. The second step is to consider the source. Ask yourself, is the person delivering this insult someone whose character and judgment I deeply respect? Is this a person I would go to for wisdom and guidance? More often than not, the answer is no. If you would not go to them for advice, why would you go to them for a valid judgment of your character? This logically dismisses the source's credibility. The third step is to practice a form of Stoic pity. Understand that a person who needs to insult others is often coming from a place of their own deep pain, insecurity, or ignorance. They are not a fearsome enemy. They are a wounded person lashing out. See them not with anger, but with a kind of detached compassion. This dissolves your own resentment. The benefits of this practice are a profound sense of emotional freedom. You will no longer be a prisoner to the careless or malicious words of others. The power that insults once had over you will evaporate, leaving you with a calm and centered peace. You will be able to navigate social situations with a new sense of lightness and even playfulness, because you will no longer be walking on the eggshells of a fragile ego. You become the wise traveler who walks his own path with a serene and focused mind, amused by the barking of the dogs but never ever diverted by it. Your practice for this week is to hear one insult or criticism, whether directed at you or someone else. Your only task is to mentally label it. That is just noise. Seeing insults as empty is a powerful shield. But to make that shield truly impenetrable, you must proactively strengthen the mind that wields it. Next, we will explore the fast track to building true mental fortitude. If you are finding value in this guide, please comment below with the word unshakable. Lesson 3. Strengthen mental fortitude. Fast. Imagine a young soldier being trained for his first battle. His commander doesn't just hand him a shield and send him into the fight. He puts the soldier through a grueling daily training regimen. He makes him run for miles with a heavy pack. He makes him practice his swordsmanship until his muscles burn, and he drills formations until they are second nature. This proactive, difficult training is what transforms the soldier from a soft civilian into a hardened warrior. It builds the physical and mental fortitude necessary to withstand the shock and chaos of a real battle. The strength is built long before the battle ever begins. This is the inner conflict we face in our quest for resilience. We often wait until we are in the middle of a stressful, high-pressure situation to try and be strong. We are the untrained soldier, thrown into battle and hoping we can somehow find the strength to survive. The problem is that fortitude is not something you can just summon on demand. It is a capacity that is built over time through consistent, deliberate practice. A mind that is accustomed only to comfort and ease will inevitably shatter when it is hit with the hard reality of disrespect, failure, or adversity. It has no calluses, no muscle, no trained resilience to draw upon. The third iron rule is to become the disciplined soldier and commit to the daily work of strengthening your mental fortitude. This is the practice of proactively and voluntarily exposing yourself to small, controlled doses of difficulty and discomfort in order to build a mind that is tough, resilient, and unbreakable. The core Stoic idea here is ascesis, or disciplined self-training. The Stoics were famous for this. Seneca would deliberately live on meager rations for a week or sleep on a hard floor, not because he was a masochist, but to train his mind. He was asking himself, is this the thing I was so afraid of? By proving to himself that he could endure these small voluntary hardships, he was building the confidence and fortitude to handle the large, involuntary hardships that life might send his way. This proactive training is what separates the philosopher from the theorist. It is the act of forging your own armor before you need it. To begin forging your own fortitude, you must embrace voluntary discomfort as your training ground. The first actionable step is to take the path of most resistance in small daily choices. Take the cold shower instead of the hot one. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Park your car at the far end of the parking lot. Each of these small acts is a rep for your fortitude muscle. They teach your mind, on a subconscious level, that you do not need to be comfortable to be okay. The second step is to practice fasting from a pleasure. Choose one small pleasure. It could be sugar, caffeine, or social media, and deliberately abstain from it for a set period, like 1 day or 1 week. This is a powerful way to train your willpower and to prove that you are the master of your impulses, not the other way around. The third step is to deliberately seek out and do things you are afraid of, especially the fear of social rejection. Make it a goal to ask for a small, unreasonable request where you are likely to be told no. The point is not to get a yes, but to voluntarily experience the sting of rejection and to train your mind to remain calm and unshaken by it. The benefits of this practice are the development of a truly robust and resilient character. You will find that your tolerance for discomfort in all areas of your life skyrockets. The insults and disrespect of others will seem like minor annoyances compared to the voluntary hardships you have already put yourself through. You will develop an unshakable confidence, the deep, quiet confidence of a warrior who knows he has been tested in the fire and has not broken. You become the hardened soldier who can stand firm in the chaos of battle because he has already endured 1,000 days of grueling, purposeful training. Your practice is to choose one small, voluntary discomfort you will embrace every day for the next week. Make your choice and begin your training. When you have forged this mental fortitude, you are prepared to face the chaos of a real confrontation, not with fear, but with a profound and powerful calm. Next, we will explore the art of maintaining a calm mind in the midst of chaos. Please subscribe to Stoic Dominion to continue your warrior's training. Lesson 4. Calm mind in chaos. Imagine the eye of a hurricane. As we've discussed before, it is a place of profound, almost supernatural calm, surrounded by a swirling vortex of absolute destruction. The power of the storm is immense, but the eye remains a sanctuary of peace. Its calm is not a result of a calm environment. It is a unique phenomenon that exists precisely because of the chaos that surrounds it and gives it its structure. This is the inner conflict we face when we are in the middle of a chaotic, high-pressure situation. When we are being directly confronted, criticized, or attacked, our instinct is to let the external storm become our internal storm. Our thoughts begin to race, our heart pounds, and our mind becomes a swirling vortex of anger and fear. We become the storm. The problem is that a mind that is in a state of chaos cannot think clearly, cannot act strategically, and cannot win. By allowing the external chaos to dictate our internal state, we have already surrendered. We have given the storm complete control over our own ship, and it will surely dash us upon the rocks. The fourth iron rule is to become the eye of your own hurricane, to cultivate a calm mind in chaos. This is the advanced practice of maintaining your internal sanctuary of peace, not by escaping the storm, but by standing firmly in the very center of it. The core Stoic principle here is that your mind is a fortress that no external force can enter unless you allow it. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that he could retire to his inner citadel at any moment to find peace, even while leading Roman legions in a brutal war. This is not about pretending the chaos isn't real. It is about acknowledging the reality of the storm while refusing to allow it to compromise the integrity of your inner peace. The man who can remain calm while everyone else is panicking is the man who holds all the power. His calm is a weapon, a shield, and a source of incredible authority. To find and hold this calm center, you must have a drilled emergency protocol. The first actionable step is to drop a sensory anchor. In the moment of chaos, your mind will want to spin into the future with worry or into the past with blame. You must force it into the present. The easiest way is to focus intensely on a single, neutral sensory input. This could be the feeling of your feet flat on the floor, the sound of the air conditioner, or the texture of the fabric of your own clothes. Pour all of your attention into this single sensation for just a few seconds. This acts as an emergency brake on the spinning mind. The second step is to engage in silent, objective narration. You become a documentary narrator for your own experience. I am observing a rapid increase in my heart rate. The person in front of me is raising their voice. My own impulse is to raise mine. This act of observation creates a powerful detachment. The third step is to focus on a single calming breath. You don't need to do a full meditation. Just one deliberately slow, deep breath can be enough to create a pocket of calm and re-engage your rational mind. The benefits of mastering this skill are the benefits of becoming a true leader and a master of any situation. You will be able to handle crises with a level of grace and effectiveness that will astound others. You will find that your calm presence often de-escalates the chaos around you. Your relationships will improve because you will no longer be a source of reactive drama. You become the eye of the hurricane, a point of profound and powerful stillness that gives order to the chaos around it. You are no longer a victim of the storm. You are its calm, unshakable center. Your practice for this week is to choose your sensory anchor. The next time you feel a moment of stress, your only job is to bring your full and complete attention to that single physical sensation for 5 seconds. A calm mind allows us to see the world clearly. This clarity is essential for our next strategy, the neutralization of the harsh words that are the primary weapons of disrespect. Next, we will learn how to let the words of others pass through you like the wind. Please like this video if you're ready to find your own inner calm. Lesson 5. Neutralize others' harsh words. Imagine you are a great, unbreachable stone monument, standing for centuries. People come and go. Some admire you. Others, in their anger or ignorance, throw handfuls of mud at you. The mud splatters against your surface. Now, as the stone monument, you have two possible reactions. You could allow the mud to stick, to harden, to stain your surface until you are completely covered in it, your own true nature obscured. Or you could recognize the mud for what it is, a temporary external substance that has nothing to do with the stone beneath, and simply allow the next rain to wash it away, leaving your surface clean and unstained. This is the inner conflict we face when harsh, disrespectful words are thrown at us. We are the stone monument, but we make the mistake of letting the mud stick. We internalize the words. We replay them in our minds. We obsess over their meaning, and we allow them to stain our own perception of ourselves. The problem is that by allowing the mud to stick, we are giving a temporary external event a permanent internal power. We are allowing the dirt of someone else's mind to become a feature of our own. The fifth iron rule is to become the great stone monument and to learn how to neutralize others' harsh words. This is the practice of letting insults, criticism, and negativity wash over you without ever sticking to or staining your core self. The core Stoic principle here, taught brilliantly by Epictetus, is that other people's words are fundamentally not about you. They are about them. Their words are a product of their own judgments, their own character, their own inner state. When someone throws mud at you, it does not tell you anything about your own cleanliness. It only tells you that they are a person who has mud in their hands and has chosen to throw it. A Stoic warrior understands this so deeply that the words of others lose their adhesive quality. He hears them, he acknowledges them as an external event, and then he simply lets them fall away. Refusing to give them a home in his own mind, he remains the clean, solid stone. To master this art of neutralization, you must become a master of non-stick thinking. The first actionable step is to visualize the mud concept. When someone directs a harsh word at you, literally visualize their statement as a handful of mud being thrown. See it flying through the air, see it splattering harmlessly against your stone surface, and then see it being washed away by a clean rain. This powerful visualization creates an immediate sense of detachment. The second step is to have a neutralizing question. When you feel the sting of a harsh word, ask yourself, what does this person's action tell me about their character and their current emotional state? This immediately shifts your focus from the content of their insult to a compassionate or analytical diagnosis of them, which is a position of power. The third step is to consciously refuse to repeat the insult in your own mind. The insult only has a long-term life if you become the one who keeps throwing it at yourself. You must refuse to give it shelter. When the memory of it arises, simply label it the mud and let it go. The benefits of this practice are a profound and lasting immunity to the negativity of others. You will no longer be wounded by the careless or malicious words that are an unavoidable part of life. This will give you the freedom to engage with the world more courageously, knowing that you are protected by your own non-stick mind. Your inner world will remain a clean, peaceful, and well-ordered place because you have become a vigilant guardian of what you allow to stain it. You become the great stone monument whose dignity and composure are so profound that the mud of the world simply cannot stick to it. Your practice is to see one negative comment this week, whether about you or someone else, and to consciously practice the visualization. See it as a handful of mud that is ultimately washed away, leaving no permanent mark. Neutralizing harsh words is a powerful defense. But the highest form of mastery is not just to defend, but to actually profit from the attack. Next, we will learn how to find the hidden wisdom in any offense. Your support helps our community grow. Please subscribe. Lesson 6. Find wisdom in offense. Imagine a skilled and humble swordsman. After every duel, even the ones he wins, he meticulously inspects his opponent's blade. He is not looking for flaws in their weapon. He is looking for clues about his own. A small nick on his own shield might tell him he is dropping his guard. A strike that almost landed might reveal a weakness in his footwork. He sees his opponent's attack not as a personal insult, but as a free, high-quality diagnostic report on his own performance. He finds wisdom in the very offense that was meant to defeat him. This is the inner conflict we face after we have successfully weathered a disrespectful encounter. Our instinct is to simply dismiss it, to forget it, and to move on. We have defended our peace, and that feels like a total victory. The problem is that by simply discarding the experience, we may be throwing away a priceless opportunity for growth. We are the swordsman who wins the duel and then learns nothing from it. This makes us vulnerable to making the same mistake again in the future. We have won the battle, but we have not improved our overall art of war. The sixth iron rule is to become the wise swordsman and learn to find wisdom in every offense. This is the advanced Stoic practice of treating every criticism, every insult, and every attack as a potential lesson in disguise. The core principle here is that the world is our ultimate teacher, and its lessons are often delivered in the harsh language of adversity. A Stoic leader is not just resilient, he is a relentless learner. He believes that there's no event so negative that a lesson cannot be extracted from it. This mindset transforms the entire experience of being offended. It is no longer just a threat to your peace. It becomes a valuable, if painful, educational opportunity. You stop asking, "How can I defend against this?" and you start asking, "What can I learn from this?" This shift makes you an anti-fragile learner. You not only survive attacks, you actively profit from them. To become this master of extraction, you must approach every offense with the curiosity of a student. The first actionable step, after you have calmly weathered the initial encounter, is to perform a wisdom review. In your journal, ask yourself, was there a 1% grain of truth in that offense? Be brutally honest. Sometimes, even the most poorly delivered criticism contains a valid point that can help you improve. Your ego will want to reject the entire message because of the hostile delivery. Your wisdom must be strong enough to override your ego and look for the lesson. The second step is to use the offense as a trigger test. Ask, how well did I handle that? Did I maintain my composure? Did my inner fortress hold strong? Where were the cracks? The offense provides a real-world stress test of your Stoic practice, revealing where you need more training. The third step is to use the offense to practice a higher virtue. See the insult as a perfect opportunity to practice forgiveness, compassion, or even a sense of humor. The goal is to exit the interaction as a more virtuous person than you were before it began. The benefits of this practice are that you will begin to grow at an exponential rate. Your entire life, including its most negative moments, will become your curriculum for self-mastery. You will develop a humble, powerful confidence, the confidence of a warrior who is not afraid of his own weaknesses, because he is constantly and actively working to improve them. You will transform your enemies and critics into your most valuable, if unwitting, teachers. You become the master swordsman who becomes more skilled with every duel, especially the ones where he is tested the hardest. Your practice is to look back on a recent moment of offense. Instead of focusing on the sting, ask yourself with total honesty, what was the one single valuable lesson that experience was trying to teach me? Finding wisdom in offense is the work. But to make this state of unshakable calm a permanent part of your being, it must be forged in the fire of a daily routine. In our final lesson, we will explore the daily rituals that create a truly Stoic mind. Like this video if you are ready to learn from everything. Lesson 7. Daily Rituals for Stoicism. Imagine a great blacksmith, renowned for his ability to forge unbreakable swords. His secret is not a magical technique he uses on the day of forging. His secret is his mundane, unglamorous, and absolutely unbreakable daily routine. Every single morning, he rises before the sun, he tends to his fire, he inspects his tools, and he performs a series of small, strengthening exercises. It is this consistent daily ritual that builds the foundation of his skill, his focus, and his strength. The quality of his sword is not determined in the final, fiery moments of its creation, but in the 1,000 quiet, disciplined mornings that came before it. This is the final and most important inner conflict we must resolve. We can be inspired by these lessons, we can understand the principles, and we can even have some success in applying them. But if we treat this as a set of emergency tools to be used only when we are under attack, our strength will be fragile and unreliable. The problem is that we often mistake inspiration for transformation. We feel good after learning something, but we fail to do the hard, repetitive, daily work that is required to integrate that knowledge into our very character. We admire the sword, but we are unwilling to adopt the daily life of the smith. The seventh and final iron rule, the one that makes all the others possible, is to commit to the daily rituals for Stoicism. This is the understanding that an unoffendable, unshakable mind is not a state you achieve, it is a life you live. It is the product of small, consistent, and deliberate practices that, compounded over time, forge an unbreakable character. The core Stoic idea is that philosophy is a daily practice, an ascesis. It is not something you read, it is something you do. Marcus Aurelius was not just an emperor. He was a man who wrote in his journal every single day, reinforcing his principles. Seneca was not just a writer. He was a man who practiced his philosophy in his daily choices. They were the blacksmiths, and their daily rituals were the secret to their legendary strength. By committing to a daily practice, you are no longer just trying to be a Stoic. You are training to become one. To become this master of your own forge, you must build your own unbreakable routine. The first actionable step is to establish your morning fortification ritual. This is a 5 to 15-minute routine you do every morning to set the tone for your day. It must include a moment of stillness, like meditation, a moment of perspective, like reading a single Stoic passage, and a moment of intention, like defining your primary goal for the day. The second step is the evening reflection ritual. This is your time to be the blacksmith inspecting his work. Spend 5 minutes with a journal, answering 3 questions. What did I do well today according to my principles? Where did I fall short? And what is the lesson I can apply tomorrow? This ensures you are constantly learning and refining. The third step is to choose a virtue of the week. Each week, choose one specific Stoic virtue, courage, temperance, justice, or wisdom, and make it your primary focus. Actively look for small opportunities throughout your day to practice that specific quality. The benefits of these daily rituals are the achievement of a true and lasting transformation. Your strength will no longer be a fleeting state you have to struggle for. It will become your natural, default way of being. You will build a character that is so resilient and a mind that is so calm that the concept of being offended will begin to seem foreign and strange to you. You will have forged a soul of such profound integrity that the chaos of the world can no longer find a purchase. You become the master blacksmith, whose unbreakable creations are merely an outer reflection of the unbreakable discipline of his daily life. Your final practice is a commitment. It is to choose one simple 5-minute ritual, either in the morning or the evening, and to commit to practicing it every single day for the next 30 days. This is how the forging begins. To be impossible to offend is not to be a person who is never tested. It is to be a person who has used a lifetime of tests, both large and small, to forge a character of such profound, quiet strength that the tests no longer matter. It is the peace of a mind that has, through discipline, become its own fortress. Thank you for your dedication to this journey into the heart of Stoic strength. The daily work of forging your own character is the most noble and rewarding path a person can walk. If this guide has provided you with value, please like the video, comment with the lesson that was most powerful for you, and subscribe to Stoic Dominion for more wisdom on the path to an unshakable life.